Okay. Hi, I just don't see the TV screen on in here, that's all. Hi, I'm your host, Karen Miranda. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side. We are coming to you live. And I would like to, thank. We are coming to you live. The phones are now opened, and, feel free to call in. I'm going to get going with a couple of people I do have floating around with me tonight. I do have a couple of soldiers that have been, maybe because of the spirit of Veterans Day. I do have a young man who's about in his late 20s. He cut shot to the head, dark brown, a little bit receding up in the forehead area, brown eyes, built in his shoulders, and he's about 5'7" in height. And I'm feeling like he was in the Vietnam War, not in, any of the recent wars actually. And I'm just going to let him go. And just, if anybody recognizes him at home, feel free to call the station up. And, I'd like to thank the soldiers for, even though it's not only a thank you, for keeping us safe and well protected on the home frontier, so we can live in freedom like every American should be. Okay, like every American should be. Hi, caller, you're on the air. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hi, can I get a reading?
Yes, you can. Have you ever been to a medium before?
Yes.
Yes, you have?
Yes.
Okay. What, may I have your name?
Karen?
Karen? Your name is Karen too?
Yes.
Oh, hi. How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay. We'll be right with you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I have somebody with you. Gonna get going. Yes, if you understand. No, if you don't, okay?
Okay.
And don't tell me anything, okay?
Okay.
So, and that way I'll, just keep going with who I'm, seeing and hearing and feeling. Because spirit works differently with me every time. I'm more of a clairvoyant medium and clairsentience medium, but it just depends. Just depends on, how they're going to come through, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm feeling, I did have a younger male that was around a little while ago, that has been around. And I'm getting in his late 20s, early 30s. I don't know if you have somebody over there that's that's in that age group as a male.
Could be.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm feeling, a little bit of weight on him. And, had the receding, had the nice head of brown hair. I'm getting like a chestnut brown with him. Brown eyes, a little rounded in the face, but not overly rounded. Is this making sense to you so far?
Yes.
Okay, had a little bit of weight on, not a lot, and he'd like to dress nicely when he was, which is, a general information for you, but I'm just feeling, he loved life. When he was here, he loved life itself.
Okay.
Okay. He had a quick passing when he crossed over.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Quick passing, boom, and I was gone.
Okay.
Okay. And, I'm just, feeling that with him, and, quick passing, boom, here, gone. And very, a lot of fun to be around. He loved life. And I'm feeling someone, he loved life. He was a go-getter when he was here. Is that making sense?
Yes.
He was a go-getter. Really, like got up and going, like, and that hasn't changed over there, by the way. It's still the same.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying you still miss having him around?
Yes.
Yes, and he's not here physically, but he's there. He's around you spiritually. You've been thinking about him a lot the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about him.
Yeah, and he's helping other people over there as well, by the way. Mm-hmm. Like he did when he was here. If you don't, I don't know if you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you do. Thank you, by the way. And but he's helping people over there, but he's also having fun raising Cain over there. Mm-hmm. Because that's how he was. He was like the party animal in the group. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you can understand that. He said, it's so great I can party again. And I'm glad you can understand that coming from him. And he's saying, she still very much misses me.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give this to you anyways. I'm seeing letter writing. Was he interested in writing? Because I'm feeling writing around this young man.
Yes.
Okay, yes, writing, and I see some. I don't want to say love letters, but something like he wrote to somebody who was writing letters.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm seeing like the letter writing in the envelope, and like all the and like a little heart on that. If it's making any sense to you, is that making sense to you?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Because he's sending you all his love from the other side, like love letters. I'm feeling love letters because he tried to be a romance, if you can understand that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, he's romancing all the women on the other side, by the way.
Of course.
That would be like him, though, because that's how he was, when he was here. And he's saying, when he crossed over, it was so devastating for everybody.
Yes.
And I'm glad you can understand that. And he's saying, he's sending you letters from the other side, by the way.
Okay.
But that's how, and he said, do you still have some of those?
No.
No, does somebody still have some?
Probably.
Find out if you don't understand that, okay? And he's saying, I'm raising Cain. I'm up to all the stuff I used to do before he crossed over, and he can move around so much better. And like I said again, I'm going back to here, gone, boom. But he was quite the romance when he was here.
Yes.
And I'm glad you can understand that. He liked to with the women especially. Can you understand that too?
Yes.
Coming from him, and I'm so glad. And he's enjoying his snacks and stuff like he did when he was here, because I'm feeling like I'm seeing like bags of chips and stuff like that. He liked his munchies. Oh, good, because he's walking around with his thing with chips in his hand and his bag. He said, but they still talk about me, and they something's going to be done in his honor if it hasn't been already.
It was. You're right. It was.
Okay, because he's saying to say thank you for keeping it. That's a good way to keep keeping his memory alive. So he's saying to say thank you for that, and that's going to continue. By the way, I'm feeling like something like a fundraiser or something might continue in his honor too.
Right.
And I'm so glad that's making sense. And that's just his way of, acknowledging he's seeing what's going on. And he's very thankful for that because you're keeping his memory alive, but you're going to be able to help other people with that.
Yes.
And I'm so glad because he was a people person when he was here. And he's doing that over there. He's, helping people out, and he's, doing the same thing over there. But he's saying, I'm just enjoying a good football game, he's saying. Can you understand that?
Yes.
And, when I mean colorful with the words, he was colorful, if you can understand that. Yeah, because he's saying, very colorful with the words. I'm glad you can understand that coming from him. He's telling me to tell you, okay? He's saying, tell her to, go out to a good restaurant or a good movie, because he enjoyed those things when he was here.
Yes.
And I'm glad you can understand that coming from him. Is his mom still here, too?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Because then he caught up with Mom over there?
Yes.
Okay, and his family? Because he had some family members that are over there?
Yes.
That, he did catch up with, and they were there to greet him and help him when he crossed over.
Yes.
But the biggest message to you tonight is he's saying to thank you for keeping my memory alive, and, you're going to continue with the memorial that was set up for him, like in a fundraiser.
Yes.
I don't know if you have any questions, but I just want to leave you lots of love. Oh, and he's also saying to go out when the weather gets better again and go to the beach.
Yes.
Because he's doing all that beach fun stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I know you know exactly what I'm talking about,
Yes.
Yes, and he said, it's great over here, don't get sunburned or anything like that, and you would understand that too as well, because he used to like to, be at the beach, and he's doing that over there, and he's just saying, thank you for keeping his memory alive.
Okay.
Okay? I don't know if you have any questions.
No, that was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing him. And he's going to be around you spiritually, especially come up around New Year's, because he loved New Year's a lot.
Yes.
Because of the celebrations and everything. And he's going to, if you feel like you're not alone in the room, that's feeling, because I feel like you're opening up to all this. He's, you're going to feel him, more. And I'm feeling like he might have just recently visited you in a dream.
Yes, he has.
Okay? That's just
Yeah.
his way of validating and acknowledging that I am around you.
Okay.
And thank you for keeping the letters.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Bye
good
now.
night.
You too. God bless.
Okay. God bless you too.
Bye.
That is so nice, when people do that with, it helps, other people with grief, too, as well. Like, even like spirit children, when they die so young. Okay. When they die so young like that. Okay. Hi, Carl, you're on the air. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side. Okay. Okay. Um, it's nice when the children, when people do fundraisers, when grief is so hard, especially when there's someone young, whether it be a young adult or someone young like that, or even a child. It's nice to do like a fundraiser if you can in their honor. It's like it helps someone else who could be, who could be sick with cancer or AIDS or whatever their, disease is. It just helps. Like, I know from, years of study when I was learning and growing at the, it was wonderful because I said to them, well, what about when a child comes through from the other side? A good English medium that I got to know, he said, make sure that they're with an adult on the other side that's recognizable to them. So that's a really nice thing, knowing that our older siblings are there to read us, when we're getting ready to cross over, which is a really nice thing to know, And I said, that's wonderful, but I'll ask the children, who are you with, or go see somebody over there, and they will do that, which is a really nice thing, that children don't cross over by themselves. There's our loved ones are there, and the angels are there too, helping them to cross over, which is a really good thing. The other thing, it's nice, like I was saying a couple of minutes ago, with the fundraisers, because it does help with healing. In healing, it can help with grief. It's however, you choose to do, because we all have our own free will, with grief and, just like with the children or young teenagers too. It's, okay. Especially with, hi, Carl, you're on the air. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hello.
Hello. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I wondered if I could get a reading. My name is Kay.
Okay. Hi. Yes, you can. Have you ever been to a medium before?
Probably a long time ago.
Okay. Let me just explain really quickly how I work, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
I'm a clairvoyant, clairsentience medium, and it's different every time with how deceased people do work with me. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if are you still there?
Yes, I am. Still
Okay,
there.
I wasn't sure. I couldn't hear your voice. I'm sorry. And, I don't say anything bad or anything. I don't, do that. I don't, that's not my job to do, that. But sometimes the older ones will come in looking younger. I said, okay, that's all fine, but they don't know what you looked like when you were young. Okay? I see them. I see things they owned, and I see how they died. And then I feel the presence of spirits around in the room. So, they make me feel, how like they died, or they'll start to work with me with their personality. And I'm going to get going with you if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right. Yes, if you understand. No, if you don't, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to get going. Okay, do you have a mom over there?
I'm sorry, a man?
A mom.
M-A-N. I can't hear.
Oh, no, I can't. Do you have your TV on?
It's turned down. So.
Okay, because I'm having a hard time hearing you, too, as well. Is Mom over there?
Did you say mom?
Mom.
M-O-M?
Yes.
No, not in my house.
No, okay, because I have someone's mom that had just crossed over, okay, that is around me, and I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to have her wait her turn to see who else is around you, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm going to get going with someone else. I do have a male that's around you.
Okay.
And I'm still feeling like a dad figure or a grandfather figure.
Both of mine have passed.
Okay, it's funny how they just said that, like, a dad and a grandfather. They're coming in together.
Okay.
They were very close when they were here.
Not really, but okay.
Okay, they were like differences, okay, but I'm not going to get too personal with that. Dad is, I'm gonna get going with Dad a little bit, okay? I'm feeling some height on myself with Dad. I'm getting height because I'm only 4'11".
Okay. Are you talking about my dad?
Yeah.
No, he's still here, and he's
Okay.
not tall.
Oh, no, okay. I said about a dad and a granddad.
Okay.
That's over there. And I'm feeling, like someone's, a dad, I don't know if I know your dad is still here, but I'm feeling, Dad, like a granddad, your granddad's over there.
Both of them are, yes.
Both of you, okay, that's where the confusion came in, because I was getting two. Thank you, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, both your granddads are over there?
Yes.
Okay, and they, I'm gonna go with one and then the other one. They're both kind of like, I'm gonna get them to sort out for a second and have one wait the turn, because one's trying to out-talk the other.
That would be right.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you can understand that, because one has more to say and the other one's trying to come in and say, I want to jump in too. And I'm so glad you can understand that coming from them. But one of them was quite the looker.
Okay.
One of your grandfathers. The other one, he said, I was at the average, I say, okay. Because I'm feeling with one of the grandfathers, was having breathing issues before he died.
Yes.
Okay, and he's having a tough time. I'm not sure if it's granddad or not, but does one of them have lung trouble?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. Because he's the one that's coming in stronger than the other
Oh,
one.
yeah.
And he would, though, because that's how he was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm so glad you can understand that, because he's been around you since yesterday.
Huh, I wonder why.
I don't know, because, they get that way. They'll, when you just see people are over there, they'll look down on you and they'll see what's going on around you. Because when I see stuff like a set of lungs, and you're saying, my lungs are doing so much better.
Good, I'm glad.
And he said it's so much easier for him to breathe now.
Thank God.
Because it was very difficult. And he was stubborn a little bit because he didn't like people fussing over him.
No.
He didn't like any of that. And I'm so glad his personality is coming in right now. Because he said, I got all my personality back and I got my livelihood back too.
Wonderful.
And I'm glad you can understand that coming from your grandfather. The other grandfather's just sitting back. He said, I'm not going to bother to try to win this argument tonight. And I'm glad you can understand that because, spirit works differently every time with me. So I just have to learn to trust myself because it's not about me.
Well, the other one is much more laid back.
Yeah, laid back and relaxed.
Genteel.
Like, don't bother me. I'm just enjoying a good newspaper in my easy chair.
That's exactly it.
And I'm glad you can understand that coming from him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and he's saying, and I'm doing that. Like, I was a real family man.
Yes.
The other grandfather's saying right now, but he's saying, I'm just letting the other guy talk because he, it was hard for him, like just before he did. But the lungs, he said, there was nothing they could do.
No.
And I'm so glad you can understand that, from him. But, he fought the good fight for as long as he could.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling service-related with one of your grandfathers, by the way.
Say that one more time.
Service-related. One of them was in the, like the Army or the Navy or, way back when.
I don't know.
Check about that, because I'm feeling there is a military connection with someone that's over there for you. Okay, I'm just going to give you that anyways, because they'll follow me home, and you can take your people with you tonight instead. But your grandfather's just saying thank you for, to the family for giving him the care when he needed it, even though he didn't always like everybody fussing over him.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I'm just listening.
I'm so glad. Sometimes it's the simplest things because they get going with me with their memories. Mm-hmm. Okay, but he's going back, to doing, having the family all around because you like to have the family all around him, and telling his stories and everything. He said, but they have to listen over here.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm glad you can understand that coming from your grandfather. I love his mannerism and his energy. He's being quite the gentleman. Your other grandfather's being quite the gentleman actually too, by the way. Oh,
absolutely.
Because he was a real gentleman. He's a man's man. He's saying, life wasn't easy, but that's how it was in their generation. But you understand that.
Absolutely.
He had to work hard for the buck.
Yes.
Very, very hard. A lot of hours too.
Yes.
And he could try to be around you. This is the other grandfather that's starting to come through now. He worked very hard for the buck, but, when he was around, he appreciated the family time with everybody.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm feeling, did he have heart trouble? Like, was it his heart in the end?
Yes,
Because he's saying, yes, my heart just closed up and boom, and I was gone.
that's exactly right.
Okay?
You hit it right on the mark.
And he's tipping his hat to you, by the way.
That's nice.
You know, and that would make sense to you.
Yes,
And I'm glad. And I see more like the older style shoes with him.
absolutely.
I love those old style shoes. You know, I'm seeing the older style shoes, and he's like, he's saying,
Shirt and tie every day.
yeah, and don't tell me anything, okay? Because I know you guys get excited when you call, too. And, yeah, he'd like to dress up, but when he could dress casual, he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he said, I worked hard, but it was well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was very, feeling one of them business-orientated.
Very much.
Very much business, and he helped people with their business things, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, and he's taken a lot of pride in that, too, because he helped people, you know, with some financial stuff, too, as well.
Oh, yes.
And I'm glad you can understand that, because I'm seeing the finances, you know, he's saying, you know, that was really good, but he was good at that, and he did enjoy it, even though it had its moments, he's saying.
Oh, yes.
You know, and that's when he would go out and relax, because I do see him at the bar.
Oh, oh, interesting.
Yeah, find out about that if you don't understand, because I'm feeling when he was younger, okay, not as he aged, and he said I aged very gracefully, you know, he said I had my aches and pains, but he really wasn't the type to complain.
Oh, no.
He never did complain, and he was very strong-willed.
Very much so.
And he's telling me to tell you, you know, thank you for keeping memories alive about both the granddads through stories and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When the family is together.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm not sure if it happened already or if it's going to happen, but somebody might raise the glass at the holidays in their honor.
Okay.
Okay, if that's big. I don't know if that already had happened at holidays or not,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I just want to give that to you anyways.
Yeah.
And he's just saying, have a good time come the holidays, you know. He said that was a very special time, you know, like with anybody, but he said he loved like to enjoy the special meals that Mom used to make.
Oh, yes.
She's a very good cook, by the way.
Oh, yes. I'm surprised she isn't trying to climb over.
No, she's just minding her own business because she always wouldn't when she was here.
Yep.
And she's like, I'm letting the men speak tonight because your Mom is like, you know, just stand in the background, but she's, you know, she's learning not to cook up a storm anymore.
Good.
Because he used to put her under a lot of pressure, by the way, when she'd get cooking and everything.
Oh, yes.
And it would drive you know, your grandfather, you know, it would drive him crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So he had just to go out for a walk.
Yep.
And I'm glad you can understand that coming from her, but she was a very good cook.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, she's saying, you know, about, you know, cooking and all that. And I'm seeing more like the older style oven than the ones they have today.
Yes.
And the bigger pots and pans.
Oh, yes.
And all the stuff. And I'm feeling she liked to bake, too.
Oh, absolutely.
And she baked very well. Does somebody still have some of her recipes, too?
Oh, yes.
Because she's saying she's eating the recipe box.
Oh, yes.
And I'm so glad you can understand that coming. Your grandmother's starting to come through a little bit more now. She's happy about that, by the way.
I'm glad.
Because she loved to cook and she loved to bake.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and, you know, she said, yeah, you know, she had a little weight on her.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of weight, but I'm getting just a very little.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
she had a nice, like, she had a really nice figure to her. She was a grandmother that everybody loved to, you know what I'm saying?
Endearing.
You know, and very caring. She said, I'm not cold anymore.
Oh, good.
And she's happy about that. She could put the old sweaters away.
Good.
And I'm glad you can understand. They're just sending you lots of love.
Good.
Lots of love. And thank you for talking about them, you know, when you're with the family and everything.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just want to extend their love to you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing, everybody. And
Thank
happy
you.
holidays. And with the holiday season coming up, your granddad saying, just do what he used to do. Just learn to sit back and relax. You know, he's saying it's not easy for you to do that.
Right.
You know, but he said, just tell her to sit back in the good old easy chair.
I will try.
Okay, try to do that. And have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
I love when they do that because, you know, it's nice to hear, you know, some of the stories from our deceased loved ones that have crossed over. Because, like I said, it's them sharing their memories, and it's not even about me. I'm just a person between the veils, that delivering the messages, to the deceased, from the deceased people to you guys. And, it's just wonderful that, it's just one way to keep their memory alive, through a family gathering, especially with Thanksgiving coming along. And I do have a man here that's coming through. I don't know who he is or who he belongs to. Okay. Hi, caller, you're on the air. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hi, this is Christine.
Hi, Christine. How are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. I could be better.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a medium before?
Yeah, I talked to you before,
Oh, okay.
but it's been like quite a while.
Quite a while. Okay. So you know how I, work as a medium?
Yes.
Yes. And is your grandfather over there too, by the way?
Where?
On the other side?
Yes.
I do have it's like, yeah, I'm feeling your grandfather over, that's all around you tonight.
Yeah.
So is it okay if I stick with him for a couple of minutes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I'm feeling, I'm trying to see if he'll come in closer. Because, of course, like, a lot of the older folks, it wasn't, easy for him at the very end either.
What?
I'm having, I'm just going to keep going. It's coming in a little bit like this right now. It's just a little sluggish, okay? But I'm feeling, your grandfather's around you. I'm just not getting a whole lot from him right now. Because I have a female that's around you tonight.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I do have a female that is around you from the other side.
Oh, I don't know who that would be.
Okay, I'm just gonna, say, just ask her to back off. But I do have your grandfather's around. Do you have a young man? Did you lose anybody that was young?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask. Okay, I do have if anyone at home, real quick, I do have someone young that's coming in, that died in there, that was 19 years old that died. And I'm just gonna ask him to back off for a couple minutes. Yeah, your granddad's saying it's a lot, I'm not getting a whole lot, so I'm not going to go making up stuff for you, okay?
Okay.
But your granddad's just coming in, and he's, saying it's a lot easier for me to move around.
Yeah.
He's a little bit, just before he crossed over, it was a little hard. I'm trying to get more, but it's just the connection's there, but it's not there.
Yeah.
Okay? And just feeling like I'm feeling, just that, he's saying this is how it's coming in. And I just don't know why it's being like this, but he's just, saying this is how I'm coming in, and, but I'm feeling another male that's with him. I'm feeling a dad over there.
Oh, my father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your dad over there?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's, okay. Yeah, your dad's with his grandfather. With his father.
Yes.
Yes, and they're together. I'm glad they're starting to come in a little bit. Dad, Dad's crossing, he's saying, was a little bit quick.
What?
And, when Dad crossed over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad's, saying, yeah, it was like, I'm trying to say, okay, well, how did you cross over? Come forward a little more. He's just saying, it was quick for me. And he's saying, I'm doing much better now, though.
Yeah, that's good.
That, and Dad's doing better. Dad is starting to come in a little bit quick, and your grandfather's just waving hi. So I'm going to see what else Dad has to say, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to say, what else do you want me to tell her? He's saying, of course, you still miss him.
Yeah.
You miss Dad a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dad's saying, I'm around, you talk to him in your own private time.
Yes.
He's listening in from the other side.
Okay.
Because he's saying hello from heaven to you.
Oh.
And that would make some sense to you.
Well, I was hoping that I would see him at my bedside.
Oh, they come in and they choose, when they come in like that, it depends on, how they present themselves. Okay? But that's good. You're very well aware of, with them that you're not afraid, like, like if you wake up and you see one of your deceased family or your dad or someone next to you. That's really nice, though. And you say, and you do have a lot of you still have a lot of pictures of them.
Yes, I do.
A lot of the photographs, because he sees you like shifting through. I don't get into the photos. I try not to, but he's saying, I see you, looking, and you get a little teary-eyed sometimes when you're going through the photos.
Yeah.
Because she said she misses having my friendship around.
Yeah, I do.
You do miss having him, around. He's also saying, but I am listening in. I'm feeling like he's with your grandmother over there.
My grandmother passed away.
Yeah, don't tell me
about
anything.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
His mother?
Because that's why I said because they're together.
Yeah.
They're together over there. Your dad, and don't tell me anything, okay?
Okay.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm glad you could understand that. When she's coming, she's got a really pretty smile, by the way.
Yeah.
And but he's with his mom over there.
Okay.
Your dad is, They were close.
What?
They were close.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
Who?
Your dad and his mother.
No, he wasn't. No.
Okay, because I'm, I don't know why I'm feeling, a closeness, but I'm going to
He
give
is
it.
to his father, though.
Yeah, okay.
Very close.
Yeah, don't tell me anything, okay?
Okay.
But I'm just feeling, that, the distance, with them, but they're close, like coming in together tonight. Okay? Your grandmother's with your dad, his mom, so I'm just giving that to you anyways. But your dad is with his dad. And he's saying, not to be so sad. And your dad was quite the looker when he was young.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's very handsome.
Yeah.
And I love his, he said, I aged gracefully as he aged.
Yeah, he didn't look
No, he
as old
didn't.
as he did.
Yeah, that's why it's coming in like this. He didn't look his age, at all. He looked very good. And,
Yeah.
I hope I do as good when I get, as I age too. It's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Because he had a lot of fight in him, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Because he's a real family man.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting for you. And, I'm just, this is just the way how he's coming in tonight. And he's saying for me to tell you, just enjoy the family more.
Yeah. I'm not going to have a nice Christmas this year, but...
Yeah. And he's saying to say to you to hang in there.
Yeah.
Would that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And try not to be so sad.
Okay.
He's not in pain anymore, your dad.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? And you needed to hear that, though, anyways.
Yeah, the holidays don't seem the same without him.
Yeah. But he's there in spirit. Even though he's not here physically, he's there spiritually. And he's with the family over there as well.
Yeah, okay.
And that would make a sense. Does he have a brother over there?
No, but his brother is sick right now.
Okay, so maybe he's just watching. Maybe that's just a way of saying, I'm watching on. He's not 24/7, but he's looking down on him.
Oh.
Okay? I had to give you that. And, just try to hang in there, okay?
Okay.
And Dad is with you spiritually. Just remember that. And he's saying thank you for all your prayers.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sometimes they will do that, and it's hard. Like I say, don't tell me anything, because when they get going with their thoughts and stuff, and I don't like when people feed me information, because when I had learned in my development classes, to not let people give you information from our deceased loved ones, and I'd say, okay, I won't do that. Okay, I won't do that. And that's why it's important when, I know you guys get excited too, and sometimes like the person you want to hear from doesn't come through. Hi, Carly, you're on the air. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. May I have your name?
Maureen.
Maureen. Hi.
Hi.
Have you ever been to a medium before?
Yes.
Yes, you have? Okay. Can I explain to you a little bit how I work?
Sure.
Okay, I'm a clairvoyant, clairsentient medium. I see people who have crossed over. I see, things they owned. They also show me how they passed. Okay?
Okay.
They also show me, they make me feel with the clairsentience. I'll feel the presence of spirits in the room, and they'll make me feel how they, passed away sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I know I've said it earlier, but do you have a mom over there?
Yes.
Okay, because there was this nice lady that's been hanging around the station tonight, and thank you for that, by the way. Mom is starting to come in a little bit. Can I stick with Mom if that's okay?
Yes.
Okay, Mom, she's saying, I'm feeling my hair was cut short to the head.
Yes.
Cut short to the head, and I'm feeling like she would have worn glasses. Not like all the time, or like at the very end.
Yes.
Okay, just like at the very end, it was just a little harder. I'm glad you can understand that. Her eyes are all better now, though.
Oh, that's good.
I'm glad you can understand that. My eyes are all better, and she's coming in front. She's got a lovely smile, by the way.
Yes.
Very kind and caring and nurturing.
Yes.
And she's saying, I got my girlish figure back.
Oh, that's good.
If you can understand that coming
Yes.
from her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying, it is a lot, I'm saying, she's getting soreness in my bones. Does she have arthritis?
No.
No, okay, because I'm feeling some arthritis. I just got to give that anyways, okay? I'm just going to let go of that for now. But I'm just, saying to say that. Because she's saying, she was just a kind, loving, caring person when
Yes.
she was here.
Mhm.
And she's learning not to volunteer so much. Can you understand that coming from her?
Yes.
Because she volunteered like all the time. Well, not all the time, but, she liked to volunteer when she could
Yes.
to help out. Okay? And she's saying, my daughter misses the closest of our relationship
Yes.
very, very much. Do you still have some of her stuff, by the way?
Yes.
Because I'm seeing jewelry, not a lot of jewelry, but do you still have a piece of her jewelry?
Yes.
Okay, she's saying, thank you for keeping that.
Okay.
And she's also saying she's learned to lighten up with her prayers and everything.
Oh.
No, like she, she was very, very private.
Yes.
And I know you would understand that coming from, but, her own private way, like she'd take her time out to do her own private prayers at night before she went to bed and everything. She might not understand that, but I'm going to give that to you anyways, okay?
Okay.
And she'd pray for everybody, but I just want to give that. And she's with her mother over there.
Oh, good.
They're together. I'm not sure if it's mom or grandma. Did somebody have heart failure?
No.
Or was their did their heart bother them?
Herrera.
I'm feeling her mother.
Maybe.
Okay, if you should just check on that if you don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I'm feeling like, with the breathing, but it was due to, the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to give you that, anyways. I'm glad you said maybe if you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But your mom is saying, she's saying, oh, I'm so glad, that, you were there for her.
Yes.
And she's saying, she was there for me when she could be. And you did a lot for her, by the way.
Yes.
And she's saying, thank you for letting me keep my dignity.
Yes.
I'm glad that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
You kept her dignity. You took care of her till the end. Not like, but somebody was there to help her out when like everybody took a turn when they could.
Yes.
I'm glad you can understand that. She's saying to say thank you to the family for that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and did she like to? I'm smelling bake. Did she like to bake?
Yes.
Because everything is. She's making me hungry, by the way. Because I'm smelling all these nice things that she used to bake at Christmas time.
Not really.
Oh,
Christmas.
somebody's okay. I gotta give you the bacon anyways, because somebody did like to bake that's over there, and it could be her mom if you don't understand. It could be her mother that baked. Okay,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, she's saying that's a message from your mom. Thank the family for being there when, when they could to help her out.
Yes.
And she said, I'm enjoying all of my stuff I used to like to eat because it was difficult in the very end for her to eat.
Oh, yes.
It was very, very hard. And her mouth got very dry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you can understand that. And somebody kept ice and water near her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you can understand that. This is why she's saying to tell them, thank you so much.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you for, for the help that you, have given her. And I'm seeing a couple of books because she liked to read when she could in her spare time. Not all the time, but I'm
No.
filling spare time with books. I'm going to give that to you anyways, okay?
Mhm.
Because sometimes it's, and you get a lot of information, so then it might hit you later on. It wasn't like all the time, but I felt like, she did have like books that she did like to read when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give that to you. And she's helping the younger children over there,
Oh, that's good.
okay? Because, she liked to be around children.
Yeah.
Sometime. I'm glad you can understand that coming from her. And she's helping the spirit children over there a little bit too, by the way.
Oh, good.
And she's just saying, thank you. Thank you for the care and thank you for helping her out. And just thank everybody. And she's saying, I'm going to be around come holidays.
Oh, that's good.
And she's with the family, the family's all together over there.
Oh, good.
And I'm not sure if it was you or somebody. Did somebody lose a husband?
Yes.
Did you lose your husband?
Yes.
Your husband, did you hoping to hear from him tonight?
No.
Okay, because he's just staying in the background, okay? But I just wanted to tell you, thank you for validating that, by the way.
Yes.
But he's just, looking down from the other side,
Oh, that's good.
okay? And you just, you got to give yourself more credit, okay?
Yes.
Okay, you have a good heart yourself. And all your family from on the other side, come holidays, they're going to be around you.
Oh, that's good.
And Mom is just saying, thanks for listening in. She's on the telephone now, chattering up to all her girlfriends.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm glad that would make a lot of sense to you, because she's chattering to everybody, but she doesn't have to worry about the phone bill.
That's funny.
And I'm glad you can understand that coming from her. And I just, she's saying, enjoy a good phone call.
Mm.
And try not to worry so much, okay?
Yes.
Is her message from you. And try not to get too stressed out with the holiday season coming, okay?
Okay.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Sometimes people we don't think we're going to hear from are the ones we do end up hearing from. And, it's amazing how spirit works that way. Someone might say to me, well, I was hoping to hear from so-and-so, but so-and-so's, not speaking, then somebody else will, end up being the one coming through from spirit. And it does take a lot of energy for, our deceased loved ones to come in. And sometimes it's the littlest thing that can be the biggest validation. And the beauty is it's really nice, when they do come in. And sometimes I'll say to people, well, think about who you want to come in. That'll help sometimes. Or at the end, sometimes I will say, well, who are you hoping to hear from? But spirit doesn't always work with me that way. And they work with every medium. Actually, they work differently, which is, a good thing to know, because we all do work in our own way. Hi, Carly, you're on the air. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
Good, thank you. I've been watching this. I just put it on a few minutes ago.
Oh, thank you for putting
Yeah,
it
I
on.
saw you once before, but I didn't. I usually see, what's her name? I forget now.
Oh, Leah?
Yeah, Leah.
Leah's awesome, by the way. She
Yeah,
really is.
But she's not a media like you.
No, she's a psycho, but Leah's very good at what she does, by the way.
She is.
She's phenomenal. She really is. She's very good.
I'm glad I caught you. I've been dialing the phone for about a half hour.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You didn't give up, though.
I hope I get some information here.
Have you ever been to a medium before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I really don't have to explain to you how I work or anything?
No, just listen to you, and that's it. Mind my business.
Okay, and yes, if you understand, no, if you don't, okay?
Yep.
And don't tell me anything.
I won't. That's the bad thing.
I'm glad you understand
Yeah,
that.
I do, because I used to open my mouth. My daughter said, "Keep quiet, Daddy. Let her do the thing."
See, that's a good thing. Your daughter's smart.
Yeah, she goes to a lot of things and has special ones. Always trying to get her mother.
Oh, is it her mother on the other side?
What? Yeah, she sure
Yeah?
is. Yeah.
And don't tell me anything,
I'm
okay?
not. I'm not.
You know, your wife is over there.
Yes.
You miss her dearly.
You say that. I'm looking right at her picture now.
Oh, don't tell. See, there he goes again. He's telling me
I
information.
know it. All right. I'm sorry. I talk
See,
too
I could
much.
zip your lip, but you're not here in the studio, so.
All right. I won't say anything again.
Oh.
I get too emotional. I
I
try to get
don't-
too much out.
I know what, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's nice to have a male, that does, that's good. It's okay to be emotional.
Okay.
You don't, with your feelings and everything, because
Yeah,
we're all
right.
human,
Right.
and there's nothing wrong with that. You miss your wife, Julie. Feeling cancer?
What?
Cancer?
No.
No, okay, because there is another female that is around you from the other side.
There
Did
is.
you lose another female to cancer?
I don't think so.
Okay, because just remember I said that, okay?
I remember at the end. You're going.
Huh?
No. You're good. I understand. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to give you that. There is another female. I don't know if it's someone in the family that lost a close female friend, but I'm going to just say, okay, and I'm going to have her wait, and I'll get going with her after I'm done with you, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, your wife was the love of your life. Feeling very attractive.
Say that again.
She's quite the looker, by the way.
You say that again.
You weren't her first beau, by the way.
I was what?
You weren't her first boyfriend.
Not really.
No, no. And she's dressed very lovely for you tonight. She liked to, really dress up.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but when you guys would go out, she'd like to look really nice.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Sure does.
Yes, she's dressed up tonight. She's got her lipstick on and her makeup. She didn't like to wear it heavy though, if you can understand that.
Right.
I'm glad you can understand that coming from her.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and she's just coming in. This is how she's starting to come in a little bit clearer. It was very hard when she crossed over for you.
Yes.
She's saying that, and you were there. You were there for your wife.
Yeah.
And she's saying, and she's saying, you did all the right things you could for her. Can you understand that?
I understand, yeah.
I'm glad you can understand. And she's got her girlish looks back, by the way.
She does?
Yes. Can you understand that too?
Yeah, sure do.
Huh?
Yep.
No, I'm glad you can understand that coming from her, because it was very difficult for you, with her crossing.
Yeah.
And she's showing me. I don't know if it was you or someone else, maybe. Did somebody write her love letters?
Not that I know of. No.
Not that you know, but I gotta give that to you anyways, because I'm seeing love letters.
Oh,
All right?
right.
Because I know you weren't the first one, okay?
Right.
Which I'm glad you can understand. But when she met you, you were the love of her life.
Right. I
You
understand.
know.
Yep, I understand.
I'm glad you understand. And she's got nice shoes on for you tonight, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
Because she liked to, wear the dressy shoes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I can't hear you.
Yeah, yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Does somebody still have some of her clothes?
Yep. Yes.
Huh?
Yep.
Yeah, you do? Okay, because, she's saying they still have some of my clothes. And she's smiling about that.
That's good.
Because they're carefully tucked away in the closet.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you can understand that as well.
I do. Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad. And she's saying, when she's not really telling me a lot of like how she crossed, but it was very quick with her crossing.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I'm glad it does. It's very quick with my crossing. It was everybody was shocked
Yeah.
when she crossed over. Can you understand that?
Yep. Yep.
And she's saying, yeah, everybody was really shocked. It was like boom and gone.
Yep.
And I'm feeling some impact with the crossing.
So what?
I'm feeling, like it was almost like, it was quick with her crossing,
Yes. Yep.
and it was like an impact thing because it was so fast. It was like boom, and then I'm gone.
Right.
I'm glad you can
I
understand that.
understand that. Yeah. Go ahead.
And
Yep.
thank you, by the way. I'm thanking you for that too as well. And she was a very She's saying I was always she was very private, but she did care about everybody around her.
You hit her right on the nose, yeah?
She cared about everybody, you know,
Yeah,
and everybody still very much misses her.
yeah,
Because I know it's not years and years that she has crossed over,
right.
you know, and she's saying, yeah, and she caught up with her mom, by the way.
That's good, yeah. She really missed her mother, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you can understand that. And, you know, they're coming in together.
That's good.
And she is with mom. I don't know if it's your wife or something, but I'm seeing a chest. Did either your wife or her mom have a hope chest?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, I just have to give that to you anyways. Check in on that, okay?
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Because I'm feeling at one point somebody had like a special like chest or type of thing where they like to put all their special things.
Yeah.
Or if you have something like that at home where you have all your wife's special things tucked away.
No.
No, okay, because I'm going to give that to you anyways, okay?
Okay, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just, like I said, she's saying, you know, I'm glad he still has some of her clothing is still there.
Yeah, my daughter, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, your daughter. I think your daughter, I found there is some special things, articles of jewelry
You all right?
that your daughter has safely tucked
Yeah,
away.
Yeah,
I'm glad you can understand that.
I understand that, yeah.
That's what, you know, sometimes they'll show me like a chest or like a hope chest or something.
Yeah.
It's just like as a symbolic thing
Right,
to show how like they had things tucked away.
right, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's this side of the veil or that side of the veil, but somebody has a birthday in December.
Yes, there is.
They're saying happy birthday.
She's saying it?
Yes, she is.
I gotta tell her that mom is having her birthday, yeah?
Okay, and I'm glad, you know, she's saying happy birthday.
That's
And
good.
she's saying, you know, she still misses me terribly too.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, yeah?
Okay, I'm glad you're understanding that. And she's saying to say that to you. And she's saying to say happy birthday. And she'll be thinking of her when she's blowing out the birthday candles.
I understand, yeah?
I'm glad you understand that coming from her. And
Yeah.
your wife is just saying, you know, when you go out for walks, you think of her a lot.
Yeah,
You know, and to go out when you're out walking, she's going to be with you.
that's good.
And I'm glad you can understand that. And she said, you have a lot of love in you. If you can understand that. She
Yeah.
said, I might act all tough and all that, but he's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you can understand
I
that
do
coming from your wife.
understand,
You're like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, Shay, don't forget to give you love too, okay?
What was that?
You know, to give you love.
Yeah.
And she's saying, even though, well, you know, anyways, I'm there spiritually.
Yeah. She is?
She's there spiritually around you,
That's
you and your
good.
daughter.
Yeah, that's good.
Just to let you know that. And she was
Yeah.
so happy.
I don't, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and she's so happy she caught up with her mom over there.
Yeah,
They're enjoying a good ice cream, by the way.
Yeah, that's good.
If
Yeah,
you can understand
Yeah,
that.
she was close to her mother, yeah?
Yeah. And when she was younger, her and her mom used to go for ice cream. Check on
Probably, I can't
Yeah,
check
just, you
on
know,
that.
check. I know it's a simple little thing, but sometimes, you know, it's the little things that can mean the biggest thing.
You're right.
But if you can ask somebody about that,
I
because
will,
you all
the
like
one-
ice
yeah,
cream,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
Find out about that too, okay?
I will, yeah.
And she's telling me to tell you, you gotta, you know, you gotta keep going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, somebody already told me that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. That's just, you know, and she's looking in, you know, and on that, and that's nice to know. She said, you gotta keep going on, and you have a lot of life left in you still. And you,
Yeah.
and if you,
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah, I
you.
got a lot of life. I wish God gave her more. My wife deserved more.
Yeah. Don't tell me anything,
Okay,
okay?
good, yeah.
But she's on the other side, and she's in a very good place.
I'm happy for
And
that.
she's saying hello from heaven.
She deserves it, yeah.
That's a message to you too. Hello from heaven.
Yeah.
To tell him hello from heaven. And I send all my love. But don't forget you have all that love inside yourself.
Yeah.
And I just want to give that to you, okay?
Yeah, that's nice.
And lots of love. And try to have some fun with the holiday season coming up to keep her memory alive.
I do.
And I'm glad about that. And she's saying, he does, and she's saying, thank you for keeping my memories alive too.
Yeah. She would be, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I just want to leave you with that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And like I said, I could say it now. I got a picture of her and her mother right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a picture when she was younger and a picture of Jesus. She was very old. She was very, her thing there. Yeah, I got a picture of mother and her. I just want to let you know that.
Thank
And
you.
every time I'm sitting in the parlor, I look at it. That's how she must know what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Have a good night. And lots of love from your wife, by the way.
I appreciate that. That sounds good.
Hello from heaven.
Yeah, that's something that's real nice to hear. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Yeah, have a nice night. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's why it's so important to appreciate our loved ones that are here on the earth plane, you know, to just take that extra moment. Because life can pass you by with the blink of an eye. I was talking to one of my cousins just recently, and we got talking about that. And I says, you know, I know the holidays and everything, but I said to him, you know, you don't know who's going to be here. Like, I have parents that are 83, and his mom was in her 70s, and she had crossed over. And we got talking about that just recently, and, you know, I said, you know, you got to really appreciate people, you know, now that are here on the earth plane. And, you know, they are still around us, even though they're not in their physical body. They're here in their spiritual body. Even though it's not 24/7, our loved ones are still, you know, around us. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to know. Because I know for myself, with holidays, I lost my sister, and I, you know, just keep her memory alive, you know, just by telling the stories, and we talk about her, and, you know, just say, you know, we know you're in a good place, and it's okay to grieve too. It really is, because grieving does help with healing, which is, you know, a part of the process, you know, as you're going along, you know, and just, you know, it's just, you know, the way life is, you know. And and again, I want to acknowledge where it was Veterans Day, to thank the vets for keeping us safe and out of harm's way. And, you know, I will remember all the vets in my prayers, both past and present veterans that have, you know, given their lives for us, and who are serving now overseas, and the ones at home, you know. If you see a vet, you know, in passing, my daughter always says, thank you for keeping us safe. My 14-year-old, she says, thank you for keeping us safe. You know, sometimes it's the littlest words too, like that. And the soldier had a big smile on his face as he was hugging his own daughter. And Thanksgiving coming up, you know, try to relax and take it easy. I know with the stress and everything, because Christmas and Hanukkah and all the holidays are all coming up. Just take that extra moment, you know, to relax, and, you know, when you can, and just stay vigilant. And our loved ones are gone, but not forgotten, and just a thought away. And I'm wishing everybody lots of love and light, and happy Thanksgiving. Try not to overstuff yourself. I always say that every year too, but all the cooking is so good, because you do have to wait 380 days till the next Thanksgiving that comes by. And I want to thank my crew for all their help tonight. And happy Thanksgiving.